Right, so good evening, everyone. It's nice to have us back on this call. Okay, so SQL. I'm sure it has been a fantastic ride. Um, and I think by now we are getting a good grasp of it. So I think in the last class, where should we start from? Okay, let's just do a bit of what we did in the last class, then we journey from there. So in the last class we talked about that was on Wednesday. We delved properly into joints. Of course, we started from the last two classes, but we had to start over. So we delved into joints and we explained the concepts behind join. So the join is more of like uh, merge. So you're trying to merge. So so trying to join two things together. You're trying to join two tables together. It's more like you're trying to merge the tables together and into a single view. Oh, sorry, you're trying to merge the contents. Yeah, I think that's better. You're trying to merge the contents of the table. You're trying to connect them into a single view based on your desired question, the question you're trying to answer. Um, so that was what we visually talked about. Then we went on to the implementation. So where we have there are four types of join. There's a left join, there's a right join, and there's the inner join. There's also the full join or the outer join. I think yeah, in this yeah. So there's a full join or the outer join, but the there's no syntax to implement this in SQL. Like currently, syntax are not available. Like it's not just possible, but it exists because the concept of joints was actually um, from mathematics. Yeah, let's just go to the graph. So it was actually from mathematics. So where we have set theory, we have intersections. Yeah, so more of like that's where it stemmed from. So so we went on to implement it, right? And we tested it. We ran through a bit of some things to do. So the left join, so just go straight. So the left join, just to reiterate what the left join is, or let me start from the inner join. The inner join is basically merging two or more tables. Yes, I was majorly mentioning about two tables, two, whereas it should have been two or more tables. So the inner join is basically merging um, or connecting the contents from different tables, right, into a single view, where you're only interested in what is particular to the tables you're trying to connect. For instance, if you're trying to connect two tables, you're only interested in the contents of the tables that are similar. So if there are two tables, you're only interested in what's in the first table that is also present in the second table. That's what your concern is, and that's the concept of inner join. You're only concerned about something that is particular to both tables. But when you're trying to now going to outer join or the full join is I just want all the contents from the two tables merged together. You just want to see everything together. While the left join, basically what it does is there's a table on your left, right, and you want to merge the contents. You need all the contents in the left table and the contents in the right table that is similar to the left table. The left table is the focus, while the right join is simply all the content in the right table and um, the content in the left table that is similar or that is present in the right table. In the right table. So that's what you're more concerned with. That's what you actually want to view. Now to demonstrate that we ran quite a few examples. So using the employee table, right? So this is the employee table. It has all of these features, and this is the branch table. Running it again, it has this. So the last one was appended because we needed it. That's Lagos. Then we went ahead to join. Yeah, so when you're joining the table, you need a connecting key. For instance, you need something that is most particularly to be the primary key. You still remember what the primary key is. It's the unique identifier for a table, present in the table, used to identify each record. So if so, most of the time it's you most probably be using the primary key to connect the tables together. For instance, in the branch table, the primary key is the branch ID, right? In the employee table, the primary key here is the employee ID. Of course, that's not always applicable, but in this situation, we have to use that because we want a view. So after joining this, you're going to see the whole view, the content of the two tables merged together, right? And so what you're going to now see here is all the tables on the employee is on the left, while the branch is on the right. And what we used in joining them together, it's the manager ID on the right and the employee ID on the left. You can see that they all have the same, they are corresponding to each other. Now, another thing is, yeah, I said primary key, but it's not going to always be primary key, right? For instance, this table can be joined with the employee ID and let me see. Okay, sorry, it can be joined with the branch ID here on the branch ID from the um, branch table, right? The employee table, that's the super ID, can also be joined on the manager ID together with this because they are more like similar. So it's not always going to be the primary key, right? But most of the time it has to be something unique, something that can be easily identified. So we use the left join. Then the next query here was basically filtering the view, right? Yes, it's doing the same thing, but we have too much views and we're not interested in everything, so we are selecting the few ones we need. So which is the employee ID, the first name, the salary, and the branch name. So running this, yes, and the syntax is a bit different. You can see I have e dot employee ID, e dot first name, and how that was made possible was because of this line. So adding an extra sentence or letter or word, sorry, I said sentence, should have been extra word or letter, um identifies, SQLs identify this as an alias. So it's going to see this to set an alias for the employee. So instead of calling employee, what you're going to call is e. So it's more of like you're referencing, you're using this to reference employee. Then the same thing is applicable to branch. Then that's how we are able to get this view. So this is the left join, of course. So everything on the left, right, and what is on the right table that is similar to or has a similar content with what is on the left, which is the employee ID. This is which is this branch. So this table basically identify that the employees with branch name are branch managers. So we could just say that. And moving on, so yeah, this is a right join. So basically we are doing what we did with this, the first one, but we are inverting it. So if you call this, you're going to get this, right? So this time around, the employee is still on the left and the branch is on the, oh, the employee is on the right while the branch is on the, sorry, the branch is on the right. Sorry, I'm mixing it up. This is the branch, this is the employee table here, and this is the branch. So we are joining this and we are joining it on these keys. So this is the condition on where we want to join them. It has to be the same, it has to correspond, there has to be something connecting them. Then okay, I think we had to insert along the line because we needed Lagos here, and we updated it. Okay, yep. So I used Lagos here in small letters, and I had to update it to capital letters here. That's using the updates syntax. Then okay, let me see. I think this is repetition. Then okay, yeah, inner join. So demonstrating the inner join basically just picks what is similar. That's more like intersection, and this gives us currently everything that is present. Then we did, I think here. So that's inner join. I've explained right join. I've explained the left join, and yeah. So these are just more examples using the other parts of the database. We were just using employee and branch. So we went on to experiment with clients and branch. So we also experimented with the employee. So here in this example here, so what we tried doing was we merged three tables together. Sorry, uh, three tables: the employee table, the clients table, and the branch table. So the branch table was here, was the first one. So we merged clients table to the branch table, and we also merged the employee table to the branch table. And yeah, so running this. So what we wanted to get from here was we wanted the first name, the employee ID, and their clients. That's all. We just needed their names. Basically, if you check that, it was not going to be. If you check the clients table, I think it was the clients table. You're not going to see. You're going to just be seeing IDs. You're not going to see. Okay, let me just do that. So, if you check the clients table, select all. All. Increase my brightness. Select all from clients table. So clients. So if you check this, you're just going to be seeing client ID and branch IDs. That's all. So we wanted to see um, the managers, so the managers and the client's name. That was what we wanted to do. So we had to merge. So we had to first check the branch. So on the branch, so if you check the branch table, you're going to have the branch ID, the branch name, the manager ID. Then if you check the employee table too, so we are familiar with that, you also have the branch ID. So we had to just merge the employee with the branch, and so this is just demonstrating merging three tables. And yeah, I'm still coming back to us, and this is another one, another demonstration. And yeah, so that was how we ended the last class. But before we ended, I mentioned something about merging, finding a way to merge the five tables together, right? The branch supplier, the client, the employee that works with. So how many, do we have anybody here that was able to implement that personally? Why do we have guys on this calls only? What's going on? I hope we're going to find to do something about this class. Always just let me see. We have just guys. So Abdul Rashid, Justice, Ayobami, were you guys able to wrap your, like, try to lay hands on this? Okay, Ayobami says no. Justice, what about you? Abdul Rashid, what about you? Okay, I think we have to discuss about our class attendance because we need more people on the calls. Anyways, so if that is the case, what should we do? Most of us have, at least a good number of us are not on this call that were in the class. Let me see. Okay, well, let's just go through it and see what we can do. So, any questions before actually we are going to do it together? Actually, I think Abdul should give an idea on how to do it. Hi, Justice.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
everyone. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, the problem I'm facing is that even this MySQL that we are using now, I haven't
Yes.
been able to install in my system. I don't know what's wrong. So I'll try to take my system to our ICT department to check it out. So, but I'm yet to get feedback from them. So, right now I'm using my phone to connect.
Oh.
So, I don't know. I'm trying to see how I could get extra hand to help me fix that up so that I can be able to
Oh.
connect. Because
Oh, I
I've
didn't know about
connected.
that.
Yes, just because I've been very, very busy lately. So, but I've been able to download the previous videos from the YouTube and I'm going through them one by one. So, I believe I'll catch up. Trust me. So, sorry about delay and all those things. You know, when you combine work and all this, so you have to take challenges.
Yeah, I understand.
But that's it.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so we are just going to work. I really don't know. Well, there's a lot of. I intend to introduce queries, that's subqueries, and well, I guess we just have to go into it. Nothing to stop the class, anyways. So let's try and implement what we're supposed to do. Um, so in the last class, we actually wanted to merge. Sorry, I don't have control over my. What's this? Ah, I really don't understand why my app is not working again. Sorry, I think I'll have to close this and open it again. I think this is getting more frequent. My app will just suddenly stop working. So let me just open another one. Then close up the old one and see if it works. Hi, Olakune. Good evening. Welcome. This is working. So what's going on? Did I lose connection? Okay, it's not back. Let me see. I guess that hanged. Uh, sorry, just a second. Open up the app again. My SQL. Okay, so can you see? Oh, I don't think you should be able to see my screen. Let me reshare. Stopped on the old one. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen now. And let me confirm if it's recording. Just 1 second. Is it? I just need to confirm if this thing is working now, so that would not. No, it's not working. So let me share it again. Okay, so now let's go to what we have. So what we wanted to do today was we kick off from the tasks that was supposed to do last week and sorry last class, and we'll go over to what we have today. So the task was to merge the 5 tables together, right? Find a way to merge uh the branch supplier, the client, the employee, and the workspace table together. That was the task. And so I'm just going to walk through us the process. So first of all, we need to observe the tables, what the content of the tables, right? Because we need something unique. So just going to be observing them one after the other. So we have the branch table here. I think I'll just copy and paste this. That was faster for me. So here I should have employee. Then here I should have branch supplier. Sorry, branch supplier. Then here I should have clients, and I think I have 4 tables here. Then I have one more, which is works with. Okay, good. So yeah, so if I run all of this together, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to have 4 tabs here. Sorry, 5 tabs. Is it 5 or more than 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So I have the branch, I have employee. You can see they are even labeled. So we are going to need that. So on the branch, we have unique things on the branches. So I'm going to use my comments. Now you're going to be seeing the advantage of comments. Branch ID. That's one of the unique things. Then we also have manager ID. Manager ID. Then on the employee table, what do we have that are unique? We have the employee ID. What else? We have the supervisor ID. Yes, let's just add it. Supervisor ID. Then we have the branch ID. Now, on the branch supplier, what do we have? We have something there, which is the branch ID. So this branch supplier tells us the suppliers that supplies each branch, and we have a supply type. So let me note that down. So there's supplier name and there's supplier type or supply type. So like that's more of like the material that is being supplied. Then we also have clients. So on the clients we have client ID. Client's ID. We have the branch ID too. Then on the work suite table, sorry, on the work suite we have employee ID and we have client ID. Yeah, so these are, I've picked out the unique things. So now the question is, where do we want to start from? What do we want to use as our base? If you look at everything, there's, so let's start from employee. So we are going to use the employee. So select all. So we're just going to use select all, right, from employee. Now, which table do we want to merge it? So I'm just going to use this, so it's going to be faster. So which should we merge it with? Employee as employee ID. So there's also employee ID on the work suite. So let's go to work suite. So let's merge it with the work suite table. I hope we are following. Looks like, okay, Olakunle is a guy. I don't know what's happened today. Okay. Abdul Rashid, do you want to say something? Oh, okay. Thought you raised up here. Guess that was a mistake. Okay, so let's continue. So we want to merge on the work suite table, so that's going to be join. You can just go ahead and use join. Join work suites. I'm going to use ww on. So where do we want to join it on? So we want to use the e dot employee ID equals to ww dot www. Okay, it's not, that's World Wide Web. So we want to join it with the employee ID. So yeah, so calling this now, because you need to be viewing your results. So here we have the employee ID, we have first name, last name, birthday, we have the sex, we have the salary, we have everything merged together anyways. Now we are now going to start from here. So what next do we want to do? We also need, so on this table we have the employee and the client's ID. So now let's go straight to the client. Let's replace this client's ID with their informations, right? I think the employee ID, we already have their information, so let's replace it with the informations of the client. So to do that, we are going to merge. So I'm just going to copy this, right? So I don't want to do everything on a single go, so you can be like, this is iterative. So we are going to join on that table. So join clients, and you see on so we want to join the client's table with the client's ID. No, this client's ID is coming from, now you need to know where it's coming from. It's coming from the works with table, so that will be www dot client ID equals to now the client itself, clients dot clients underscore ID. Yeah, so if you run this now, yeah, so you can see it's getting wider. So rather still, let's restrict our views, right? Let's restrict our views from here. So let's call first name. So first name is coming from employee, so that's e dot first name. Let's assume we need a last name too. So last name, well, we can say maybe the salary. Do we need salary? Okay, let's just drop that. Now let's go to the next table. So these are like 3 tables joined together now, but we don't want everything here. So we are going to pick what else next. Let me see, we already have the employee, so we don't need the employee's ID again. The client's ID now corresponds to the client's name. Yeah, so we need like total sales, but let me pick the client's name first. So the client's name is coming from the C. So I think, oh, I didn't put C here, so C, so I'm changing this to C. Then so this is going to be C dot client's name, right? Then we can now have total sales, and total sales is coming from worksheet, that's www dot total sales. Yes, so we have successfully merged 4 tables together. So if I should run this now, yes, so we have removed some views. So let's go ahead, we're almost there. So we still have 2 more tables to work with. That's, we have clients, we have worksheet, we have employee, we don't have branch, so we need the branch. So let's assume that this person is working with this person, right? So let me go ahead and check the branch table again. So what's on the branch table? So on the branch table we have the branch names, so we can attach the branch names to the client. We want to see, oh, the employee of the client, but I think there's one more table. Okay, we've merged work with, okay, yeah, so let's go to the branch, let's merge the branch. So we are going to join on the branch now. Have I copied it? Okay, yeah, so we are going to join on branch now. So join on, sorry, join branch, right? On what do we want to join it? So we're going to say branch under, sorry, branch ID equals to, so there's employee dot branch ID, right? So we also need to view the branch ID. So what we are going to do here is we are going to view the branch name, the branch ID instead. So branch, oh sorry, B. So I'll use B for branch ID. So that's B, and this is E, and this should be B dot branch name, right? So run this now. Yeah, so we have the branch name. So rather than do it like this, I think I'll rearrange it and put the branch name of sorry. So we are going to put the branch name. We're going to replace it. We don't want it here. We want it after the last name. I think it's better there. So I'll just cut this and put it here. Oh sorry, that didn't go as planned. I don't need this, and run this. So we have first name, last name, the branch of the employee, the client's name that they worked with, the total sales they generated. Then we also need the branch supplier. So let me see what's on the branch supplier again. So we have the branch ID, the supplier name, and the supplier type, right? Now this is going to be a bit difficult because I think these are different things. There are multiple branches. For instance, we have branch 2 and branch 3 here. Branch 2 adds 3 suppliers and they had different supply types. Branch 3 also had 4 suppliers. So if you bring that into this table, right, there's no way to uniquely identify that the supplier supplies the branches, right, not individuals. So the only connection they have is with the branch name, and it will be difficult to actually say, oh, it was this particular branch, it was this particular supplier that worked with the branch. So I think it's not going to, unless it's another way, but I don't think it will be possible to merge all 5 tables together. So that's what I could see. So when I gave the task, it was like, okay, just to flex muscles and try to reason ways we can actually merge together. But you can see here I was able to merge the 4 tables together to bring out something. So here you can see the first name of the customers, the employee. Then we could also, maybe had the managers for the branch. Saying it this way, we don't know the managers, the branch managers, do we? No. We only know the employee, the last name, the branch name, the client's name, and the total sales. So if you want to see like, oh, which branch manager was actually you want to see the branch manager attached to the name. So maybe Stanley Hudson in branch Sackparton. Oh, who is the branch manager there? Right? Oh, hold on. Phone is supposed to be in another stop. Okay, so we could do that. We could have the branch managers. So let me see, how can we do that? So I have this here. So to add the branch manager's name, the branch manager is currently on the branch name, so it's going to be attached to the branch name. So we could just check here and call branch dot manager ID. Let me see, this should work. Yes, but it's giving us in numbers, and we don't want it in numbers, we want it in actual names. So how do we get there? Let me see. Okay, I'm actually um rather than do this, the branch manager is 102, 102, 106, 106. Okay, I think I have a lot of tables. So I want the branch manager to now have name. I've added it to this. Would that be possible? Can anybody help me here? I wanted to see if we could merge it together. If we could change the name. Actually, I think my head is not in place. Uh, Let me see. So if we have the branch managers here, we have the branch. Let me see the branch table again. It has, oh, okay, on the branch name. So we can do something simple. So we can say, let's merge outside of this whole syntax. Let me do something simple where I have employee table and okay, I have the branch table, and rather than have the manager ID here, I'm going to have what's it called? I'm going to have the actual managers here. All right. So to do that, you are going to run it outside of our current function. So let's say select all from branch. So we are selecting from branch, right? And we want to join. So join the employee. That's on what are we joining it on? We are joining it on branch dot manager ID equals to employee dot employee ID. And yes, so doing this, we have all of this. So we are going to now select the ones we want. So we want just the branch name. That's branch. I should have changed this and put, it's easier typing just one letter than typing two letters or more. So yes, I could just say b dot branch ID. Yes, we might need that. Then the branch name, that's b dot branch underscore name, and we need just straight to the first name, and the first name is on the employee. So employee dot first name, comma e dot last name. So here, so we have a view that tells us, oh, the branch name and the branch name. This is about to get interesting. Okay, I don't think I should bring this in because it's about what we are supposed to do today. So the way to do this is see this as a table, then merge it with this um, upper one we have here. So when we do that, we will now be able to pick so rather than saying on manager ID, so we are just going to be merging on the branch ID instead. But I'm going to pause on that. So I'm just going to comment this out, comment, and we'll come back to it. So before we go to what we have for today, is there any question on this? Any question you want to ask Ibami, Justice, um Olakunle and Abdurrashid? Any comment?
No comment from my end. I think all is well. It's just how the second one is to become a table that you can match with the first one. That's I will be eager to see.
Oh, okay. Um okay, Ibami, you're raising up your hand.
Okay, so my question is on the line 42. Yeah, the www dot client. I don't understand that www there. And 39 too. So can you shed more light on it, please?
Okay, so this ww here, okay, you at least I've explained how if you have a letter in front of a um a table, when you're calling it, it means that you are using that letter to reference, you'll be using that letter to reference the table, right? So the same thing is what I did here, and I used ww. So the reason why I used w was just walk and width. So I used the first letter here and the first letter here, so walk width. So it's easier that way. So it's just a reference for walk width. So rather than saying writing the whole works with word, I'm just going to be using ww, so more of like a shortcut. So I did that here, so I'm referencing this with ww here. I did it here, and I did it somewhere again. I did it, yes, I did it here. So I'm calling the total sales from this table. I'm calling the client id from this table, right? So that was what, so it's just like an alias. The same thing is applicable to the rest. This b, c, w, w, and e. So I don't know if that clarifies the issue. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, so that works. So now I was going to introduce also something unique, another concept called subqueries, sorry, um and put it in caps. Subqueries, queries, right? So by now we understand what we refer to as queries when we are calling query. Of course, SQL is structured query language. So when I refer to something as query, everything we have been doing is just query. I think the this aspect is data query language, that's DQL. We've done DCL, that's data control language. We didn't do DCL, we did DQL, we did DML and DDL. So just to refresh, I think it was it here? Let me see. Where we did DQL. So basically DDL is data definition language, where we define we use it in defining what our table is supposed to look like, what our schema is supposed to look like. That's great, right? Then we have DML, right? DML is used for manipulating the content of the table. That's where we have updates, we have select sets, then we have DML. Sorry, we have DQL. So DQL is what we use in query. So it's called data query language. So all the things we write are just basically queries, 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 and queries. Now, the concept behind subqueries, right, is running a query with another query. So it's more of like a sub level. So for instance, you have level 1 and level 2. So in that situation, in that case, you are just basically, that's just the idea. So you are going to have like two queries that are dependent on each other. So one query is going to be dependent on the results of another query. So that's the concept behind uh subquery. So just to go straight, because I wouldn't want us to stay long on this. Oh, I cleaned that. Now the idea is you want to run, you need a particular result, and you you will need to first of all run a query, right? Then you use the results of that query inside the main query. So there are two queries. One is the first one is the outer query. Let me call it that way. So there's an outer query and there's an inner query. The outer query is dependent on the inner query, right? Because the results of the inner query is what you are going to use or apply to the outer query. So let's just go straight into let me just stop with the enough talks and let's start our query. So let's look at something. So I think I still have my tables here. So let's use, for instance, let's check the branch. So on the branch table we have branch ID, branch name, branch manager ID, and manager start ID. Oh, I think I have a good one in mind. So the employee table, let's assume that we need to check for something in another table. Or let me get a question. So the question is get the let me see, get the supervisee that are currently under David Wallace. David Wallace is a supervisor, right? He has 100, his employee ID is 100, and we have a few people under him. So we need to get them. So how do we do that? That's a bit complex. Okay, but I'll try to simplify it. So let's assume that we know David Wallace's employee ID. So to get his ID, so let's say his ID is 100. So we want a let me see. Okay, so let's write a query to get David Wallace's ID. So to do that, we are going to say select all from employee where, yeah, we are going to be using where. So where first name, you could use that. Where first name equals David, and last name equals Wallace. So running this would give us this. Now what do we need? We just need his employee ID, right? So all we need to just do is call employee ID, and here we go. So we have 100. Now we need is let me put it here. So gets all supervisee under David Wallace. So we currently have his ID, but we need to get his supervisee from the employee table because that's the only place to identify it. So how do we get there? So we are going to, so I'm just going to push this down, right? So I'm going to say select all from here, from the employee table. Yeah, back to employee table. So if I should run this, yeah, so you can see supervisee ID. So we are more interested in supervisee ID, right? So we're now going to say where super ID equals. Now all of this here, I'm going to enclose it inside a parenthesis. So I'm going to close this and push this down and end this here. So I'm going to put this here and close this, and let's do this, and here's. So now let me explain what is going on. So this first query here gives us the ID of um David Wallace, which is 100. Now select all from employee table where the super ID is equals to the result of this, and the result of this is what? 100. Okay, I'm coming, Olakule. So if you run this now, I'm going to get employee. So this employee's ID I'm getting, you can see that their supervisor ID is equals to 100. So that's why I'm getting. So this table will now give us, or this view will give us all the employees that are currently in the table, in the employee table, that have the supervisory ID of 100. So so this is more of like a query, and this is also another query up here, right? So this is more of running a query inside another query. So the query we are running here is referred to as a subquery, and in the rule is that when you are running subqueries, the query that gets to run first is the subquery. So this one will be run first before this one runs, because this is depending on the output of this. Okay, so Olakuni wanted to ask a question. Raise up your hand.
Yeah, I wanted you to like come again before you go too far, like
Okay,
from the
on
subqueries. I don't think I
okay, go for
what?
it again. So queries. So like I said before, we understand what queries. Oh, okay. Let me move the assumption. Does anybody knows what queries? Olakuni, do you want to remind us what queries, or what you understand by query? Or anybody else, maybe Justice or Ibami or Abdurrashid. A query.
Yeah, for me, I like a question. Can I?
Okay, you can go ahead,
Okay.
Abdurrashid.
Yeah, it's like what we call nesting, if I get it right. So you are trying to get query of subquery, right?
No, no, no. I'm asking what a query is. What you understand by a query? Just query.
Okay, okay. Query
Yes.
is you are trying to search or investigate some certain criteria, some certain value or some certain informations by certain criteria that is being defined by you. So
Okay.
it's just like you're trying to inquire or trying to find out something. It's just like you're putting an hypothesis, trying to look at where it is.
Oh, excellent. So you want to say something, Olakule?
A query is when you request for like information from like a data or something.
Okay, excellent.
Trying to like get information or something.
Okay, yeah, that's all. The answers are all correct. I think when I was explaining this, I gave an instance. Okay, Justice, you raised up your hand.
Yeah, if I could be correct, I could say a query is like a command from a data set to be able to get some information.
Okay, yeah. Um, so w to simplify it, I used something that we've all done at some point. That's using Google. For instance, you need an information or something. Let's say Milo. So you just type Milo on Google, you get the results. So that's an example of sending a query. Google is a database. That's the truth, actually. A database of full of a lot of results, a lot of things. So when you send an information to it, when you use the search button and you type something there, you are basically sending a query and you get your results. So that's a very simplified example of using queries. Now, when we now move on to subqueries, it's just running um multiple queries. Let me put it that way. You're running multiple queries. It's just that one query is dependent on another query. Okay, yeah. Still on the Google example, something just came to mind. So when you search for something now, I use Milo. If I search for Milo on Google now, it brings out a result. Now, when I scroll down and I press next, maybe take me to the next page, I'm literally using another query, right? I'm actually saying, oh, take me to page 2, or that's basically you are taking another action based on the first action. So in that situation, I can say that where you have selected take me to page 2 is another query. So you are just running, so it's basically queries on queries on queries on queries. Now the idea behind subqueries is that you are running multiple layers of queries. So you have two things you need to do. So let's say I'm going to the supermarket, right? To get, oh, okay, yeah. So I'm going to the supermarket. I need to get groceries. The groceries I want to get is actually cornflakes, right? Now, if I get to the supermarket, I would need to get to the grocery section in the supermarket to get my Milo. Now, the Milo is what I want to get, right? But I actually first of all need to get, so when I ask the attendant, I'll tell you, okay, I need to get Milo, and the person tells me, oh, first of all, go to the grocery section, then there you will find Milo. So in that situation, my subquery there, or my main goal, is what? Milo. But to get to Milo, I need to get to the grocery section. So in that situation, I can say that my in the subqueries structure, um, I would say that my subquery, right, is Milo. My main query is grocery section. So if I take Milo, because there's a lot of things in the grocery section, there's a lot of things you are going to see. You're going to see Milo, you see Bonfita, you see a lot of things. But what I actually want to get is Milo. So Milo there is my subquery, right? While the main query is the grocery section. Now I'm going to show that. Now the way we now go about it is the subquery is used as a flitter. Maybe because I didn't mention that for the main query. So when I said Milo is my subquery, Milo is going to be used as a flitter for my main query. So Milo is going to be used as a flitter in the grocery section. So when I come here, you can see where I used the subquery. I used it in a where statement, so it's more of like a flitter. So so let me do something, right? Let me take this out. Let's forget that this exists, right? So let's say the super id is 100. Let's just go ahead and put 100 straight up, and I run this. You're still going to get the same view, but what we have done here is that we are assuming that we don't know the ID, the employee ID of who we are actually looking for. That's why we took this out and decided to use this query to first of all find the ID of David Wallace, which returns 102. Oh, sorry, 100. So it was that 100 that is now fed into this place. I don't know if it's clearer now. Olakunle.
Yes, yes, it is. Thank
All right,
you.
you're welcome. So that's basically the idea behind Subquery. It's nothing difficult actually. You're just running multiple layers of queries. The major thing I think we have overcome is this. We already understand selects, how to use selects, how to use from, and how to use filters. Okay, so let's do something else. So this was actually like more of like a shortcut, right? So let's do the normal way. Um Now, a manager, because it looks like every manager has an ID. Every manager here, because we have, if I go and check the branch table, it looks like we have three managers: corporate, accounting, at Stanford, 100, 102, and 106. And those managers actually have supervisee. They have people that are under them, right? So if you check here, I just confirm 102, 106. Yeah. So let's now do the proper way. So the normal way we would have had to go about this is, first of all, get the branch managers, right? So select select all from branch. So if I select all from branch, yes, so I need the manager ID. So I'm going to say limit. So let's say I need the first one, right? So I just use limits limits 1. So give me the first one. But before then, I have to make sure that the branch ID is in, the manager ID is in ascending order. So I'll use order by manager ID in ascending order. Then limits, this gives me just one result. That's the first one, the one at the top. And okay, no, it's not giving me the one at the top. Let me remove this limit. Oh, Lagos is coming up because Lagos does not have manager ID. So this is getting interesting. So I don't want null statement, so I'm going to say where manager ID is not I think, does the bank sign work, is not equals to, I think, yeah, this should work, is not equals to, sorry, null. Okay, so yeah, so it's supposed to be like this. Yes, so what happened there was there's an order in which SQL executes statements. I don't think we covered that. I think I forgot about that. There's an order in which SQL organizes statements. So the order of operations are, let me use this. So the orders of operation is, first of all, from select to from to where, then you have group by, then you have order by, there is comma here, sorry, where, then you have order by, sorry, before order, yes, you have order by, then you have limits. So this is the order. So if you rearrange this, for instance, if I'm not using where, then it should be from any ones. I can remove the ones I'm not using, but none of this can come before. For instance, I can't say I want to take this and put it here. So what the limit does, it gives you like the top 5, or the top view you actually want to see when you're interested in. That's basically what it does. I don't know if that
Oh,
answered the question.
yeah, I get it.
Okay, Justice, you want to ask a question?
No, not actually a question, please. I want to take a permission to exit the class
Oh,
because
no
my
problem, no
battery is
problem. All right.
down. Thank you very much. Good
You're
night, all.
welcome.
Good
All
night.
right.
See you next class.
Okay, so continue. So yes, this is the operation, the order in which they are actually arranged, or they ought to be arranged actually. So having this arrangement now, you know that you can't have them, you can't have order by on top of where. This has to be the syntax. So that was why I had to do that. So this part of saying where manager ID is not equals to null, right? Because I don't want this here. So if I run this again, sorry, where manager, let's hold on, where manager is, I think not, does not work here. Let me see, not, um, okay, where manager is not null. Does, think you also accept statements? Yes. So web manager is not null, right? And I have this, then I can now say, oh, okay, this has make sure that this is in ascending order, and I can go ahead and use my limits 1, so it will give me the top one. Then from here I can just pick only manager ID, so I'm going to change this to just manager, sorry, manager underscore ID. So calling this now, this is what is going to come out. So this is what we are supposed to now do. We're not supposed to now take this manager ID and run it in this. So we now say, okay, select employees, select all from here, from the employee table. Can see it's not like join, we are just repicking. So select all from employee where, sorry, where the supervisor ID equals, open this, then you need to close it just before this, and to make it in order you bring this to the middle so you can easily identify that, oh, it's a subquery, there's a subquery running in it. So if you run this now, yes, so here we go. So you can see here, there's no place I've defined that, oh, David Wallace. No, I didn't have to do that. All I had to do was just find a way to get the item from the table itself without declaring whether we know the person or not. So this is a way. So you could also find a way to, put some names here and all of that. Now so let's do another query, another subquery in a query. So let's say we have, okay, I think I have some questions here. So now let's say we want to find all the clients who are handled by the branch that Michael Scott managed. So Michael Scott ID is 102, right? So the question is, find all clients, right, that are managed, that are handled by the branch that Michael Scott manages. Now this is tricky. So this says that first of all we have to find Michael Scott's ID, then use Michael Scott's ID to find the branch that he manages, then use that to now find all the clients. So the clients can be gotten from so if you check, I think if you check the branch manager, it does not state the clients. I think those clients, the client states the branch that handles them. Good. So that's something. The client states the branch that manages them, and that's the client's name. So we need all the clients' name that are managed by Michael Scott. So how do we go about it? So first of all, we need to identify the branch that Michael Scott manages. So let's use his name this time around. So let's say select all from from employee, sorry, MPL, sorry, select all from employee, where his first name equals, what was the first name equals to? Michael. You can even use wildcard, right? Where first name is like, let's use wildcard. It's like M and 5, yes. So it starts with M, and last name last name is like, uh, starts with S and 5. Yeah, let's do this. See, very interesting. So we have Michael Scott, because only Michael has his first name with M and last name as S. I guess we are lucky. And what we need here is employee ID. So just pick employee ID and run this again. So it gives us Michael Scott. Now, in a situation where you have multiple things, multiple M and S, multiple employees that their name starts with M and S, you could say, okay, just limit it to the first results, just one. So if you run this again, you still get 102. Now, from here, we could now go ahead to say, so we have this ID. Now we need the branch that it manages, right? So we need to write another query for that. So we say select, so we are selecting from branch, select all from branch where the manager ID now equals what we have here. So tab this, I'm using tab, I use tab to do that. So now this will go into the branch and select everything. So here we have Sacrantin, right? Now, how do we now find the clients? So to find the clients, we need to run another query. So select all from clients. I think it's clients. Yes, clients. Select all from clients. Okay, let me see the content of client again. So it has the client's name, right? And oh, we are more interested in the branch ID. I think it's the branch ID that connects them together. And what are we getting from here? Branch ID. So we need the branch ID. So from here, we're just going to filter this to just branch ID. So this will return just the branch ID too. So we now need to check for this branch ID inside the client table. So it's going to be where clients, sorry, when branch ID equals, we open this, we hand this, and we put it here. So you could do something like this, and this also will go into this. So this is query inside a query inside another query. So if you now run all of this and you check this, you are now going to see all the clients that are currently being managed by Michael Scott. So I don't know if we have any questions. So this is 3 queries, 2 subqueries. This is 2 sublevels. So any comments? Ayobami, Abdurrashid, Olakule, is it clear enough? Are we here?
Yes, yes, we are
Yes.
here.
To get the subqueries now, we need to start from from the subquery, then we go to the query, right?
Yes, so it's like a bottom top approach. So you start from the bottom, then from there.
Like the way you explained that Milo stuff. Now we have to start from Milo, go
Yes,
to grocery, then supermarket.
exactly.
Okay.
So I even think the concept where I use the supermarket was actually even three queries. Because first of all, you have to get to supermarkets, then get to the grocery stores position, then get your meal. So that's like one three queries actually. Uh, but what's going on again? Uh, You need to check why my app is freezing. My app has freezed again. This is becoming terrible. So let me see. So the fact that we get the idea, so I can bring up another question while I'll try to restart this app of a thing that's frustrated my life. This is frustrating actually. Nothing works. Like everything, don't understand why I can't select inside this box. Ah, this is terrible. But anyways, it's fine. So let's go ahead to ẹ lọ pa ẹ má wọlé ẹ lọ pa. So okay, I'm just going to restart this. Now let's talk about maybe I think I still have one more example here. So we could say we could find all the names of the employees that have sold over a certain amount to a single client, right? So how do you think we can go about that? So we need to actually just check for all um clients or all employees that have sold. I think the file is gone. Yes. Okay, it's here. Awesome. Let me just take this out. So we need to check for all
Sorry,
clients.
we are not seeing it. Okay.
Oh, okay, sorry, I'm coming. Um, just 1 second. Let me share it. Okay, can you see my screen now? Can you see it now? Okay, so now let's continue. So we want to actually check for the question is check for the employees that sold over a certain amount, right? So to do that, let's just try. So employees that sold over. So let's see the range. So I think works with is where the idea is. So data sales. So you can say you want to see all employees that have sold over 50,000. Yes, so let's say 50,000. Have sold over 50,000. So they have made this sales. So this sales, right? So that's so we are going to start from sorry. So we are going to start with getting the employee IDs from this table, because this is where the table is. So we are going to be working, this is going to be my primary focus. So it's going to be more of like select all from work suites as work suites where, so we are going to be using this where employee ID, sorry, where total sales is greater than 50,000, and run this. So yes, we now have all employees that have sold over 50,000. You can see, I think what's his name, the 105 guy sold. So it's possible that you have multiple people coming out. For instance, now this employee sold twice, made that kind of sales twice. So we want only the distinct ones. So to do that, let's go back. I'm sure we still remember the instincts when we did it. So the instincts allows you to select just the unique ones, the unique values, right? And we want it from just the employee ID. So if you run this now, you get 102 and 105. So those are the employees that have made over 50,000 sales to a single client. Now, we now need to go and check for them in the employee table, right? So all we need to do is just say select all from employee table where uh, where employee, that's employee ID, like, let me use like, and bring this here and close this. I like to put this down here and put this here, keep a space here and run this. Okay, okay, so I think it should be in. Yep. So what this does is it says select all from employee where the employee ID is in. So the values that we get from here, they are just two, which is 102 and 105. If it was just one, I could have used equals to, right? But it's two, which is why I'm using this. And if I'm using like, it has to be more of like a sequence, right? So having done this, now we have all the employees details. Now we need to now check. Now we don't need all of this. We just need their name. Of course, we have gotten here. We have almost everything we need. So we can just call in their first name and their last, sorry, their last name. And what else? We could say, oh, once their supervisor ID and their branch. So with this now, you'll be able to get their first name, their last name, their supervisor ID, and the branch. So this tells us, this gives us a view of all employees that have sold over these amounts. So if you to change this easily, all you need to just increase it. So I could say 100,000, right? And this should still work. I'm still getting 2. Wow. So let's reduce this. So let's say 1,000, or let's say 20,000. So if I run this now, I should get more, right? You can see I'm getting more. So I reduced it, just reduce the threshold. So just put it back 50,000, and we have this. Yeah. So that is how we are able to actually do this. So basically, it's it's not hard. The concept is not hard. It's very simple. All you have to do is take a query, run it, and run another one on top. It's as simple as that. So well, so just to I think yeah, that was basically what we were supposed to just do today. And yeah, so I'm sure are there any questions? Maybe we can go back to uh the one we stopped, we paused when we started. We were trying to do something. But before that, I'd like to see if there are any questions. Is there any issue with subqueries that you need to ask so I can answer while I'm on the call now? Okay. Or should I take that as in yes, no questions? Alright. If that's the case, so now let's go back to what we're trying to do when we're playing with this table. So I'm just going to take this and bring it down. But we are basically done. Yeah, so that's all we're supposed to cover for today. But let's see if we can fix this. So what were we trying to do here? We were trying to get the manager names here instead, right? So to do that, we need to merge this with another table that has the manager ID instead. So my approach is how I think I can achieve that is, first of all, I need, so the way is I'll have to bring a table that has manager ID and the manager's name on it. So that's like it's going to have manager ID and manager name in that table. So that's what I want to get first. So when I have this table, then I'll now merge it to this table and reference the manager name instead. I'll connect the table will be connected on branch ID, but I'm going to call the manager name instead. So I can name the table sorry, I can just say manager's table. So this is going to be the name of the table. Now to do that, how do we achieve that? Right, so we need to merge two tables together. That's the branch table and the employee table. So we could say select employee from, it's supposed to be first name, first underscore name, selecting it from the employee, then comma, let's say we want the last name too, last name, and we have this, and we want to merge it, that's join, and join it with the branch table and join it on the employee, that's employee dot employee underscore ID equals to manager, that's coming from the branch table. So if I run this now, I'm going to get the first name and last name of the managers. But I also want the manager's ID, right? So I'm going to put manager underscore ID, comma. So now this is the table where I have manager ID, the first name, the last name. Now, so we want to merge it with this. Actually, I haven't tried this, but let's see how it goes. So we'll say select, it's going to be join. So I'm going to say, so I'm just going to clean this out and say join this table, because this is now a whole table. Let me see what happens. So I'm going to close this, remove this, print this out, and take this up here. Sorry. Let's do it like this. So we are joining this table. So this is more of like from. So join branch B, and I'm saying join the whole of this, and I'll put on what did I want to join this table with this. I want to join it on the manager ID. So I'm going to say let me see if I could put an extra thing. I'll call this managers table. So I will say join on mt dot manager ID equals so I have the manager ID here, and the manager ID contains the manager ID. So I want to merge it with this statement that I have here. So it has the manager ID, so that's going to be but where's the manager ID coming from? It's coming from B. So I'm going to say B dot manager underscore ID. Oops, so let's see if this works. Wow, it worked. So we can now easily replace this manager ID with empty right dot first name. So I'm just going to come up here and clean this out and say empty dot, am I getting the first name and empty dot last name, and let's see. So here we go. So here we have the first, let me see, why is Michael Scott's here? But there you can see that we only have the manager's name, so we can just change this to as manager underscore first name, then mg as manager underscore last name. So there's going to be a distinction between this and this, so it's not going to be just first name last name repeating itself. So bringing this now, you're going to see now it is manager first name, manager last name, and you're going to see that this is just first name and this is last name. So let me see. Oh, okay, I've forgotten that Michael Scott is also an employee, so it just happens to this means that the branch managers will also work in. So Michael Scott was able to, in Sacramento branch, was able to work with these clients and made these total sales. That was what it means. Then we have Josh Potter. So it means that he, as a manager of his own company, of his own branch, was still able to generate funds. I think there are other places where it came out. Yeah, it came out here. He worked with FedEx. He also worked with, okay, yeah, that was the only two places he worked with. So I think that's how we are able to, though this is really too much. Should I say too much? But this is the query anyways of how we got there. So can we see that we actually used a subquery inside this big query to get to this level? So I think we have come. Any questions? Hey, hi, Bami. Please no here. Tito and it's been a while. I'm sure she. Let me just stop there. So, like, do you have any questions, guys? What we call it tonight?
Baba, we go dey practice. Oh.
Actually, I know that this today's class was going to be a bit um more. Like I said, we have basics, yes. Well, so queries too is just like a query under a query. So it's understanding what you want to do. That's why I had to. That's why I decided that I didn't want to touch this problem. I didn't touch it after I gave the task. So it's not going to be like uh it's because you have done it before. So I brought it here so I could walk us together. We could see the thinking can you could see my thinking pattern of how I was able to break it down and achieve and come to this and achieve this end goal and achieve these results. So that was why I had to just do that. So you could see how I was able to break things down into the smallest units. No matter how big the problem is, the first thing is to break it down. When you can, if you can successfully break it down, or I think the first thing is understanding it, and to understand it, you might need to break it down. So if you can easily break it down, then you can build up back into the solution or results that is expected. So that's what we do. I think it's called bottom to the top approach. So you start from the bottom, then gradually you proceed, and you get to where you're going to. Yeah. So that's it. So I think we have come to finally the end of this class on subqueries, and practically we have come. I think the next class will probably just be on um doing some examples right from where we started from to the end, then treating some analysis question. Yeah, so that's going to be it, and we will wrap up class on SQL. So if there are no questions, I think I can greet everybody happy new month and a good night.
All right. Thank you. Good night.
You're welcome.